Welcome to XIO Voice. Continuing from the previous episode 181. The hustle and bustle created from the soul-stirring battle during the day finally paled as night gradually covered Yi City. However, many people's hearts were still filled with excitement and exhilaration because of the battle. A battle of this level was something rarely seen across the Central Plains. What piqued the curiosity of the people in Yi City was the identity of the green-clothed lady who appeared near the end. These people in the Pill region clearly understood just what kind of strong faction this Ice River Valley was, yet even Bing he had submitted in front of a countless number of eyes. All of this was due to the mysterious, green-clothed lady. From this, one could tell that just what kind of a shocking background this lady possessed. A crescent moon hung in the dark black night sky as somewhat icy moonlight scattered down, covering the city that had been devastated during the day with a layer of faint silver yarn. Xiao Yan was seated cross-legged in a guest room deep within the Yi clan manor. Both of his hands had formed a training seal. There was a heated aura vaguely lingering around him as he inhaled and exhaled. Although Xiao Yan did not suffer an overly serious injury from the big battle during the day, his do qi had basically been exhausted. Moreover, the overbearing energy that had been created when using the Skyfire 3 mysterious change had also caused some damage to his body. If he didn't have a strong physical body, it was likely that some of his veins would have burst apart because of the overbearing energy. Wave after wave of natural energy slowly entered Xiao Yan's body. After undergoing a refinement, they transformed into clusters of do qi that flowed through his veins. This caused the faint feeling of pain emitted from his veins to gradually reduce. This quiet training lasted for 2 to 3 hours before Xiao Yan slowly opened his tightly shut eyes. His pale white face had recovered a sleek redness. The exhausted do qi within his body had become much fuller after some recuperation. My strength is still insufficient. With my current strength, I can at the very most deal with experts at the peak of the Do Zong class. As for Do Zun class experts, unless I use the final extermination Lotus Flame, it is likely that I will have difficulty harming them. Xiao Yan opened his eyes, sensed the condition within his body, and sighed in relief. After which, he immediately mused to himself in his heart. There were a little too many experts who had appeared in the big battle today. This allowed Xiao Yan to truly understand his strength. In the Central Plains, one must rely on one's fist to speak. If Xuan had not arrived in time today, it was likely that the fate of his group would not have been good. However, if he possessed enough strength, to the point where he need not fear the Valley Chief of the Ice River Valley, he would naturally be able to rely on himself to resolve such a situation instead of relying on his luck and waiting for others to aid him. Xuan was able to rescue him once, but what about the second time, or the third, or the fourth? Although the strength of the Jiyu clan behind Xuan was very strong, Xiao Yan was also quite afraid of this Jiyu clan. He was uncertain just what kind of relationship the Xiao clan had with the Jiyu clan back then. The other party's intention was very clear. They also wanted to obtain the 2 Shi Ancient Gods Jade from Xiao Yan. Of course, they were different from the Hall of Souls in that they used gentle tactics while the Hall of Souls used all means at their disposal, whether fair or foul. The matter of Xuan intervening to rescue him would likely reach the ears of the Jiyu clan very soon. Xiao Yan was uncertain what their attitude toward him would be. However, one needed to think of the worst scenario if anything happened. If this Jiyu clan were to attack him one day in an attempt to snatch the 2 Shi Ancient Gods Jade, he needed to be in possession of a strength that belonged to him. Xiao Yan believed that even if the Jiyu clan were opposing him, Xuan would not attack him. This point could be proven by the fact that the Jiyu clan was still unaware that the 2 Shi Ancient Gods Jade was with him even now. Since Xuan was able to keep such an important matter a secret, it was possible for him to tell where he was within her heart. Of course, if this were to really happen, it was likely that Xuan would descend into a swirl between love and kin. At that time, she would suffer regardless of who was victorious. This was also something that Xiao Yan did not wish to say. No matter how I put it, it all boils down to me not being strong enough. If I possessed sufficient strength, even the Jiyu clan would not forcefully attack me. Xiao Yan softly sighed, his fist suddenly tightened. With each advancement of a star, he was able to sense that strength was the most important thing. Family, love, clan, etc., all these things could only be protected with sufficient strength. A glaring expression flashed across Xiao Yan's dark black eyes. His hand gently touched his chest. There was still over half of the demon poison spot remaining. If he were to completely refine this thing, Xiao Yan believed that he would be able to become a 4-star Dozong. Once he obtained the 3000 burning flame, he might even be able to reach the peak of the Dozong class. At that time, he would possess the ability to fight even when facing a super expert like Bing He. Once I have fully recovered from my injuries, I will refine the demon poison spot. This thing has remained in my body for so many years. It is time to completely get rid of it. Xiao Yan clenched his fist as he finally made up his mind in his heart. Xiao Yan slowly relaxed. He was just about to enter his training state once again when his eyes suddenly turned to the window of the room. He smiled and said, "Since you are already here, why are you still hiding?" A soft laugh was transmitted into the room after Xiao Yan smiled. Immediately, a green-colored figure drifted in. She stood prettily in front of Xiao Yan and smiled as she said, "It is already so late, yet Xiao Yan Gege has yet to rest." Xiao Yan watched this elegant and enchanting lady in front of him under the gentle lamplight. A boiling heat quietly rose in his heart. The emotions he had suppressed for many years appeared to be like an erupting volcano in the absence of anyone else. He could not suppress its eruption. Xiao Yan extended his hand and grabbed Xuan Er's snow-white cat-like hand. Where he touched was completely smooth, appearing just like warm jade, causing him to like the feeling so much that he was unwilling to release her hand. Xuan Er's face revealed embarrassment that an outsider would never see after her hand was grabbed by Xiao Yan. However, she did not free her hand. After being separated from Xiao Yan for so many years, her feelings had not only not faded but had become warmer, like the accumulated sediment following the flow of time, spreading to every part of her body. Xuan Er shifted her feet and sat by the side of the bed. Her face gently leaned against Xiao Yan's broad shoulders as she softly muttered, "Xiao Yan Gege. Xuan Er has really missed you all these years." Hearing the feelings of attachment in the lady's words would shock any outsider who heard them. Xiao Yan felt a warmth in his heart. His arm rolled down, and he hugged Xuan Er's delicate and soft waist. After which, he buried his head into her smooth, black hair and sniffed the faint fragrance. The slight frustration within his heart seemed to vanish at this moment. Xuan Er allowed Xiao Yan to hug her. A moment later, she finally raised her head. Her intelligent eyes of her looked at Xiao Yan's face as she flipped her hand. A golden-colored scroll appeared in it, and she handed the scroll to Xiao Yan. "This is the last 3 seals of the God Seal skill. With Xiao Yan Gege's current strength, you should be able to practice the 3rd seal." Xuan Er softly said, "Xiao Yan Gege should not reject it. The Central Plains is not the Black Corner region. There are as many experts as there are clouds here. One would be safer if one has more skills to preserve one's life. Xuan Er cannot continue to remain here. Therefore, you cannot find an excuse to reject this God Seal skill." Xiao Yan was startled when he saw the glittering, golden scroll. He felt some helplessness. This girl seems to be always thinking of pushing her things on him. Xiao Yan hesitated a little in the face of Xuan Er's eyes. However, he did not put up much of a resistance, and he soon took the scroll. He was interested in this God Seal skill. Moreover, Xuan Er was right. If one did not have sufficient skills when roaming the Central Plains, it was likely that one would be less safe. Xiao Yan had also long since experienced the might of the God Seal skill. The Open Mountain Seal and Sea Flipping Seal could be considered strong killing moves when he was at the Do Wang and Do Huang class. Following Xiao Yan's advancement to the Do Zong class, the might of these 2 seals was much weaker. If he wanted to raise his strength, he would naturally need to practice the remaining training methods for the God Seal skill. A smile surfaced on Xuan Er's face when she saw Xiao Yan accept the scroll. The current Xiao Yan no longer possessed the kind of insolent sharpness that he had back then. Instead, he was a lot more matured and restrained. "That's right, Xiao Yan Gege. You did not allow anyone else know about the matter of the 2 she ancient gods jade, did you?" Xuan Er appeared to have recalled something as she suddenly asked in a serious voice. "That's right." Xiao Yan trailed off. This thing had far too great of an implication. He naturally did not dare to inform anyone about it. Even the little fairy doctor, Tianzun Jie, and the others did not know about the existence of the 2 she ancient gods jade. Xuan Er finally sighed in relief upon hearing him. This 2 she ancient gods jade. Is it something that the Gu clan wish to obtain? Xiao Yan frowned slightly and asked. Xuanur hesitated for a moment upon hearing this. She nodded and softly said, "The two Shi ancient gods' jade is related to the mystery of Do Di." I think that Xiao Yan Gege is also aware of this matter. Ever since the ancient times, seldom do any experts manage to break through to the Do Di class. Those Do Dis back then all seem to have vanished overnight. We can only find some remnant information from some ancient text. Xiao Yan braced his attention after hearing a great secret of the continent for the first time. He said, in other words, if one were to cobble together the pieces of the two Shi ancient gods' jade, one would be able to obtain the method to advance to the Do Di class? The Do Chi continent is incomparable vast. There are some remains left behind by the ancient experts since ancient times. However, most of these remains are incomplete. Even though this is the case, each time such a remain is discovered, it would stir a large commotion on the continent. Xuanur's pretty eyes turned to Xiao Yan when she spoke until this point. She said, most recently, there was a broken Do Di relic. A countless number of experts were there at that time. Old Mr. Yao Lao also participated. Xiao Yan raised his eyebrows. He had occasionally heard Yao Lao mention that the flame mantra was something that he had obtained by chance. Could it be that the flame mantra was obtained from that so-called Do Di relics? The two Shi ancient god is the last Do Di that has appeared on the Do Chi continent that we know of. He left behind a Do Di mansion hidden within empty space. This Do Di mansion is well preserved. My Gu clan and the Hall of Souls are thinking of entering it. The two Shi ancient gods' jade is the key to opening that Do Di mansion.